Yo, still bills. What's the deal, man? Yo, I'm heading to motherfucking Sam's Club. I got one stop to make, and that's where I'm going right now, man. So we can get back home and finish cleaning this house up. We have my son's birthday party here in a few weeks, so we gotta get ready for that. But peep game, man. We gotta get into this shit, man, and that is last night's endeavors, man. I missed all of the fights except for I got there in the middle of Zhang and Parker. And then I saw the whole thing of the fight that I'm gonna talk about, which is Francis and Anthony Joshua, man. I was never really excited about this fight. I thought there were better and bigger fights to be had out there. Damn, that nigga burnt out. I thought it was much better and bigger fights to be had. There was talks of a Philip Hergovich. There was a few talks of a multitude of different opponents for him. And I was just of the impression that, why do we need to fight? Like, why is Francis Ngannou why is his name even being mentioned with the likes of an Anthony Joshua when it shouldn't even have been mentioned with the likes of a Tyson Fury? And the reason Anthony Joshua, before I even get to what I really want to talk about, the only reason why he's getting the praise and admiration that he's getting for doing what he did last night is because a dude that y'all have massively overrated, vastly overrated for beating a Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury doesn't even get the love for that he for beating Klitschko that he gets for beating Deontay Wilder. Y'all have vastly overrated this man. I remember listening to Tim Bradley and all them saying he could beat Muhammad Ali because he had knocked out Dillian White, as if with the same punch that two other fighters before him knocked him out with. You dig? And as much salt as they throw on someone like an Anthony Joshua was the first one to stop that, put him to sleep. He was the first one to put him to sleep with the uppercut. All that shit gets swept under the rug, though, and we overly praise Tyson Fury for going in there and doing what he did to Dillian White. Povetkin, fuck what Povetkin did, fuck what Joshua did. It's all about Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury did to Dillian White what Povetkin and Joshua did before him. He can beat Sonny Liston. He can beat Mike Tyson. He can beat Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Frazier. Michael Moorer, you dig? Ray Mercer. He can beat all of these dudes just because he's big or he moves like a middleweight, all that shit. All right, cool, whatever the fuck ever. So with all the praise and what I'm saying, verbal ejaculation y'all be doing for this motherfucker, why would he go in there and look the way that he looked in front of a novice? And because him looking the way that he looked in front of the novice, you had mixed martial artists feeling like they can come over here and swim in this pool. And not just swim in the pool, but be successful from within it. Because a lot of people feel that Francis Ngannou won that fight. The fact that he dropped Tyson Fury, had Fury's face looking all, sliced up and everything. And then, Fury does commits a cardinal sin and throws a fucking foul. An illegal shot, an elbow. Why are you throwing an elbow? So it was all this hyperbole surrounding him just for him to go in there and fucking lay an egg in the manner that he did. They approached Joshua about a fight before they approached Fury, and Joshua turned it down like, nah, dude, it's bigger fish to fry, and I can't ruin the integrity. I can't compromise the integrity of the sport by fighting you. I can't do that. I can't do that, and I won't do that. No, I'm gonna have to pass. Fury takes him up on his offer. He looks the way he looks against Fury. And now not only is he looking the way that he looks against Fury, people are believing that he would do the same to Anthony Joshua, if not worse. All right, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get money. I'll run it with him. Because now it ain't just the fact that it's a big money fight. It's the fact that you look good doing what you did against Tyson Fury. You look good doing what it is that you did against Tyson Fury. So now we run the AJ to restore order into the sport. And this is the second time that he's done this. You went the distance with Otto Wallin. It took fear, and he sliced your ass up, and it took Joshua 5 rounds to step on that man. So this is his second time coming in and cleaning up your mess. So we get to the fight, man. I think Francis Ngannou will make a pretty good fighter, Brody. not a fighter, but a boxer. The dude, like from what I saw of him, that I like how he whips the left hook. I like how he sets up the left hook. I like how the jab and everything. Like I'm looking at someone who was composed and comfortable in there. Even his feet, man. I'm looking at somebody who's spinning out and pivoting when Anthony Joshua is pivoting, so he doesn't have to reset, or when he goes to reset, his back ain't up to him and opening up scoring opportunities because you can't see where the shot is coming from. I saw that within that small time span. I saw all of these intangibles that Francis Ngannou had at his disposal, and Anthony Joshua felt that left hook even when he was catching it on the glove. He felt that left hook. He knew for a fact, yo, this ain't a nigga I want to get hit by. This is not a nigga I want to get hit by. So he's bouncing on his feet. He's closing distance, with leaping left, lead left hooks. He's not looking to set the left hook up with the jab or nothing like that. He's just stepping in behind the left hook from a reasonable range. He's bouncy. He's on his toes. I'm seeing a lot. I'm like, yo, okay, man. Francis Ngannou looks like he has some, come on, man. My nigga, is you gonna let me? Oh my God, these motherfuckers are tripping. I'm looking at Francis Ngannou and I'm thinking to myself, yo, man, this dude look like, this dude is sharp. Like this dude, clearly he has IQ in there. Clearly, he has some sort of fundamentals at his disposal. He does. I think for him to be successful in the sport, he's gonna have to come down in weight because his style is not conducive to how massive of a man he is. The dude is 6'4", 272. That is a behemoth. That's a huge, colossal size dude. You can't afford to be on your toes like that and leaving your feet stepping in behind left hooks. Not stepping in behind your jab, but stepping in behind left hooks. Real Roy Jones like. And Roy Jones got a lot of flack for doing that shit. He got a lot of flack for doing that shit as well. But I'm looking at Francis Ngannou. I'm not seeing somebody whose guard is tight like this. I'm seeing he's inviting you in. He's inviting you in so he can counter. He has counter hit, counter punch capabilities and all that. I'm seeing that from him. I really am. He looked comfortable in there. And to, further exemplify his level of comfort, he switched southpaw. And that was his doom right there. Joshua was biding his time, moving around him, feinting. He kept reacting to every feint that Joshua threw at him. But he just biding his time, casually stepping in, stepping out. Keeping his guard tight, got his backhand up so he doesn't, he can catch the left hook on the glove. There's no gap in between his defense to where he can sit that, the fist can sail behind the guard or catch him right on the chin or on the forehead or anything and put Anthony Joshua down. It was tight. The guard was tight. So he's just biding his time, making him come to him, keeping him guessing, just using his feet, Joshua is the more complete, put-together fighter. And the minute he decided to switch southpaw, lead foot right on the outside of Francis Ngannou's lead foot, right straight down the pike, down goes Francis Ngannou. And the minute he got hit, you saw his eyes like, yo, all right, this shit is different. This is different. Fury, and this is what everybody was trying to explain to the Fury fanatics, man. This is a different level as far as punching power is concerned, because Fury is he's not a puncher like Anthony Joshua. He doesn't punch with the same level of ferocity as Anthony Joshua. He doesn't. So that's the end of the second round. That's the end of the first round. He gets up, he's like, yo, all right, cool. And even when he got up, everybody is like, yo, I didn't get to really hear the commentators because I was screaming at the top of my lungs. But I'm like, don't get comfortable. And I think, when you're in there and you're comfortable, you're a quality operator in the ring, you're used to what's going on in the ring. You know when and when not to take risk. And when you do take that risk, even within that risk, you're still operating behind a certain level of precaution. And I think he went in there, he went to off his head with a right straight. Fury was able to get away from it, and he answered him with a left hook. But the thing was, the left hook cuffed him. He cuffed it with, behind the head. And I'm like, don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. You keep frustrating that man. You keep moving. You keep putting the jab in his chest and his belly. And eventually, the face is going to open up. The head is going to open up. You keep doing that. You keep exercising that, that IQ in the ring. You keep breaking him down. And and he did that. He went back to that because that's what met his doom. That's what eventually met his doom in front of Andy Ruiz. So the second round, The second round comes on. And it's ordinary mode. Joshua's moving around, using lateral movement. Feinting once again, and Francis Ngannou was reacting to all the feints. He never he never looked to be that level, under a certain level of duress in front of a Tyson Fury. Now I ain't even gonna cap. I ain't see the Tyson Fury fight with him because I was just like, nah, bro, I don't want to watch this shit because I was irritated. I was irritated about Francis and Joshua. But I'm like, you know what, fuck it. He's needed. This fight is necessary because we got to restore order in the sport. So fuck it. It is what it is. God damn it, I took the wrong exit. But he's reacting to the feints. He's biting on everything. Now, granted, you do have to somewhat react to the feints because what happens when the shot is no longer a feint? You got to find that middle ground to where you're reacting to the feint because you're alert, but you're not overreacting to it to where you're getting yourself out of you're getting yourself out of not punching range, but you're getting yourself out of defensive position to where you're trying to react to a left hook. Your guard just so happy, man. This little intangibles, man. You dig? When you go, the body shot coming, you brace for the body shot. Dip low, you tuck your elbow, but it's that pocket right here that's wide open for him to come over the top and smack you in the head with the left hook, like a Canelo Alvarez. Little shit like that. So you have to be cognizant of the feints. But you don't want to be overzealous with them. Be alert, but don't be overzealous. And he was overzealous with him. He's like, he can't see. Like, I don't know where the shots are coming from. And I was arguing with a nigga about this fight because he's just such, this nigga Arco, that's my man. We have our little back and forth when it comes to MMA and boxing. He's very disrespectful to the sport of boxing though. And he was arguing that, oh man, Anthony Joshua's chin is suspect. He ain't this and that. I'm like, you do realize Tyson Fury has been down more than Anthony Joshua. You realize that, right? You realize that. And once you paint that picture for him, it's like, oh, well, okay, well, now I got to find another reason as to why I think he's going to beat Anthony Joshua. And it's just really ridiculous shit. And I'm like, I'm telling you what's going to happen right now. Now, granted, I thought the fight was going to go a whole lot longer than what it did. I'm like, he's going to break this dude down with the jab. He's going to break him down with the jab. And out of frustration and his getting his head consistently snapped back and him not being able to comfortably put himself in position to land the shot that he wants to land, he's going to start lunging in. And when he lunges in, he's getting walked to the strike, right into a straight right hand. Step back counter is going to happen at some point in time in that fight. Y'all call it, the politically correct term is a pull counter. But it's a step back right hand. At my gym, we call it a step back. 1-2, 1-2, step back, launch the right hand. And that's what happened in the second round. That is exactly what happened in the second round. And I didn't even, Francis lunged, stepped back, right on time. And the minute he got hit that second time, he was like, yo. Because even on the first one, it took him a minute to get up, like, hold up. I wasn't expecting all this. I wasn't expecting all this, man. Hold up. The dude who beat Wilder ain't do this shit to me, man. Hold up. Nah, man, this shit different. So he got this look in his face like, nigga, what the fuck is happening to me, bro? Like, yo, like, what the fuck is this? This shit happening like this? He got that look on his face, like, yo, man, doom is right around the corner for you, Brody, and it's about to happen to you. He had this look in his face, like, yo, bro, like, I was not expecting it to be like this. I was not expecting, and that's another thing, man. As much shit as people talk about how robotic Anthony Joshua is, it's a lot of dexterity to that dude, man. It's a lot of fluidity in his movement. You dig? His mechanics are good. You can't see for you to throw a step back or a pull counter. For you to be able to do that takes timing. That takes dexterity. That takes hand-eye coordination. That takes a multitude of things. Because in that split second, when you're stepping back, you're shifting all your weight onto that back foot and launching that right counter off of that shit. That takes skill to be able to do. That takes a lot of skill to be able to do. And I don't see no heavyweights doing that shit. And he does it very well. So he drops Francis Ngannou with that beautiful right hand pull counter. Francis gets up, and you see the look in his face. By this time, his mouth is bleeding. He's already breathing heavy. He's already breathing heavy. And what does Anthony Joshua do? Step right in and just club punch this nigga right in his shit, bro. That is the end of Francis Ngannou. And what's wild, for as much shit as people talk about boxing and MMA, oh, you can't get in the octagon and take no leg kick or whatever. You can't do this and you can't do that. You can't do this and you can't do that. That man stepped in a boxing ring and literally got comatose. He literally went to sleep on that mat. Literally, not figuratively. He was on the ground stretched out for about 5 minutes. And they had to bring a breathing machine to this dude. All the head kicks and knees and elbows that you take in the octagon, that happens to you in a boxing ring. You don't you're not looking vulnerable like that in an octagon. You're looking vulnerable like that in a boxing ring. So where your team and the paramedics at the side of the ring, they're coming over there and they're putting you on a breathing machine, bro, to ensure that you ain't really fucked up out here. And his eyes rolled in the back of his head. Uncle Charles, y'all, straight up and down. His eyes literally rolled in the back of his head. That was grotesque. That was violent. Whatever you want to call it, that's what it was. And he did that. So don't talk to me about just boxing is a far more dangerous sport than MMA. Not from a just boxing is more dangerous than MMA because the punishment in MMA is distributed through the whole entire body. You can step on your opponent's shoe or foot. You can step on their feet, kick him in the leg, kick him in the head, hit him in the chest, do all type of wild shit. He fall to the ground and pound. You can tap somebody out. You can do a multitude of things in the octagon that you can't do in the boxing ring. In the boxing ring, the only scoring areas is the body and the head. And most of these fighters have been fighting since they were kids. So you take that type of punishment for about 15, 20 years, bro. Like, with a lot of fighters, they eventually they become a victim of a circumstance of a sport that they love and they grew up doing. So for him to be able to do that, this isn't a dude. I think he was undefeated in the octagon. He suffered no damage against Tyson Fury. So for him to go in there and have that type of neurological reaction to what Joshua did to him just within 2 rounds, there's no way you can sit here and talk wild shit about boxing and oh man, you wouldn't get in no cage. I mean, it's more money in boxing, for one. And for two, if they did get in the cage, you think Anthony Joshua with them little ass gloves on, you think if he go across somebody's jaw in the octagon, he's not running the risk of killing him? These is 12-ounce gloves, fully padded, bro, with wraps to cover, to further protect his knuckles. You don't think he has the potential to kill somebody in the octagon? I'm not saying that he goes in there and he beats motherfuckers up in the octagon. I'm not saying that at all. But people have this propensity to think that because only thing in boxing, because you're just solely using your hands, that you're susceptible to other, you're susceptible to other attacks. What you are, you got to learn how to defend against a takedown. You got to learn how to defend against kicks, leg kicks, head kicks, all that shit, man. The question mark kick, you have to be conditioned to know how to deal with that shit and know when somebody is setting it up. The same way somebody has to be conditioned to know where they're throwing a feint, like what Canelo does when he flashes that left hook to the body and changes the trajectory of his shot and meet you up top with the left hook. You have to be conditioned to that. You got to be conditioned to that. So I'm not saying that he go in there and he just beat the shit out of everybody. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, because this dude is at the highest level of the sport that he's in, and it's solely this sport that he's training in. He's not training in a plethora of sports. The minute, and it's not even just with him, with any boxer, any big puncher from boxing, if they step in the octagon, they stand a chance in there. They stand a chance in there. They stand a chance in there, man. You're able to keep somebody at bay with the jab. I'm not about to close distance on you and do the half the work for you so you can shoot at my legs. I'm not about to allow you to do that shit. You get somebody in there with competent feet and a good jab, and they work well behind their straight shots, they stand a chance in the octagon. I wouldn't pick them to win, because that's disrespectful, because that's their playground. But I think boxers at the highest level, you put a crossover fight between a high-level boxer at his peak and a mixed martial artist at his peak, he stands a better chance of him he stands a better chance in the octagon than a mixed martial artist does in the ring. And that's just the long and short of it. That's just the long and short of it, man. So shout out to Anthony Joshua, man, for him restoring boxing, and it's dope for him to get the admiration that he's getting in the now after niggas spent the first half of the year trashing the dude. Lost to Usyk. He comes back. He beats Jermaine Franklin. Beats Robert Helenius, and nobody even really wants to unpack that fight. You dig? He was supposed to be fighting Dillian White. He didn't have a full training camp for Robert Helenius, and he was in between trainers, man. He got a lot of flack for that fight. He got a lot of flack for that fight, man. And what is? He got a lot of flack for that fight, and even in a knockout, because of what Wilder was able to do to him. He got a lot of flack for that fight. So he's been getting, they've been trying to tear this dude down for the longest, man. So after he does what he does to Otto Wallin, him and Ben Davison really have a good rapport with one another. It's a beautiful thing that he goes in here and does what he does to Francis Ngannou, and people are, gracious of that. Like, man, good looking out for restoring boxing, man. Man, listen, gratitude, debt and gratitude to you. I love to see that for him. And even in victory, he's still a gracious dude. He's telling friend, yo, you don't need to stop boxing. Keep boxing. Keep boxing, bro. Like, you like, nah. And I agree with him. He should. But a lot of people was dragging how he looked against Fury off of a loss, bro. I'm like, you do realize he lost that fight. He lost the fight. But, niggas come to their senses, and they eventually came to their senses, and they realized, yo, bro, this is different right here. And he looked sharp in there. Damn, who was that? He looked real sharp in there. Really sharp. I'm glad to see it, man. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad Francis is okay. I'm glad he's okay. But I'm definitely glad that Anthony Joshua was able to go in there and do what it is that he did. Because he needed that statement win, and he has the world buzzing right now. Everybody's high. Damn. Everybody's high right now off of that win, as they should be. That was a spectacular win. Man. And he deserves all the praise that he's getting right now, man. Shout out to Anthony Joshua. Shout out to Ben Davison. I hope he's on the Matchroom versus Queensberry card, because he wants to stay active. And that's another thing that's dope about him, man. Canelo, Joshua, and Inoue are outpacing everybody, and they're already not just established, but they're already Hall of Fame fighters. They're outpacing everybody. You know what I'm saying? Canelo wants to fight 3 times this year. Joshua wants to fight 3 times this year. Inoue wants to fight 3 times this year. I don't know what's going on with Bud. I'm going to talk about the Chris Eubank Jr. fight, maybe in my next video or whatever. But, if it's to stay busy fight, then so be it, whatever the fuck ever. I don't know. But just these fighters need to stay active. And that's one thing that Joshua is trying to do. I need to stay active. And I'm digging the fuck out of that. So, put some respect on that man's name. Put some respect on his name. That is the second best heavyweight of this generation. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, man. He's still showing growth. And he's still not, running and shying away from all the challenges out there. So, shout out to Anthony Joshua, man. I'm about to run in the stove. I'll get with y'all in a minute, yo. Y'all be easy. Deuces.